Welcome back to the Anxiety Slayer podcast. I'm Shan Vanderleek here with my good friend and co-host, Ananga Sivir. Last week, we discussed what to do when you wake up in the middle of the night with anxiety. Today, we're covering how you can get a good night's sleep with several supportive recommendations. So many of us have issues with anxiety at bedtime. We want to help you relieve that anxiety, and that is what we're focusing on today. Welcome back, Ananga.
Hey, Shan.
It's worth repeating that there are several things to avoid before bedtime that can ruin your sleep. And those things are caffeine, coffee, energy drinks, anything with caffeine. Caffeine stays in your body for a long time, probably longer than you realize. So eliminating that is a good choice. Eating late and eating heavy meals in the evening is also going to cause some issues with a good night's rest. Working late or taking work into the bedroom at night, not a good idea. And then, of course, watching dramatic television or movies in the evening can really mess with a good night's rest. So we want to talk about some wonderful bedtime practices and some ideas that will help you relieve anxiety at bedtime. And then we're also going to share a guided relaxation with you that you can use whenever you're feeling anxious.
Yeah, we spoke a lot last week about guided relaxations. So we have one to share this week that you can listen to in bed to help you calm anxiety and drift off into a good night's sleep.
I'd like to begin our conversation about bedtime practices, healthy bedtime practices. And for me, it's all about creating this comfortable, cozy nest, being mindful of my bedroom, what the lighting's like, how comfortable my comforter and pillows and the whole setup of my bed is. That's where I like to start. When you think about how much time we spend in bed, it's important that we have a comfortable and cozy place to sleep.
And changing colors and changing up the environment can definitely have an impact on our anxiety. Ayurveda teaches, as we often discuss, that there are different mind and body types, and the one most prone to anxiety is the Vata dosha, Vata mind and body type, which is very light by nature. It's made up of air and ether. So as we often share in our courses and in the podcast, the rule of gentle opposites is what's applied in Ayurveda. So if we have a nature that's rising in us that's very light, and that's making our mind flighty, it's making our thoughts looping and fast, then anything we can bring into our sleep situation that counters that balances that, is going to help it. So this means soft, warm bedding, calming colors, grounding colors. And we've been asked in the past about weighted blankets. And definitely, if you're of a Vata nature or you're feeling very ungrounded, spaced out, floaty, bringing some weight to your bedding helps. And that's something I've done here on occasion. I feel the need to layer up my bedding. We don't have to invest in a weighted blanket, although if you think it's something you're going to need consistently, that might be worth looking into. But sometimes you can layer up and make things a bit heavier. And that definitely is helpful. That brings the opposite energy of Vata in. It brings the Kapha energy in, which is more grounding. It's heavy, it's stable. So bringing that into our bedding can make a huge difference to how we sleep.
We also invite you to stop scrolling at least an hour before bed. And I realize for some of our listeners, it's like, what? I'm scrolling right before, right up until the time I go to bed. But if you give your mind a break, give your eyes a break, give your whole system a break from screen time an hour before bed, I promise you it's going to be easier for you to get to sleep. This is where you can pick up a book instead, or you can listen to some music instead. You can do something else an hour before bed that is not scrolling. Soak in a tub with magnesium. If you have a bathtub, get in it. That's something you can do an hour before bed instead of scrolling. It's going to take a little bit of practice to change up your habits, but if you carve out time, and let's say it is an hour before bed, for these bedtime practices to make sure that you're cozy, everything is about comfort and cocooning and especially in the northern hemisphere right now as things are darker and colder and more damp, all of these choices are going to really be a great contribution to your body and your mind. And foot massage is something that's really calming for the mind. Ananga, why is that?
It helps calm the mind by bringing all that busy head energy down. When you massage your feet, it helps release energy from the head, makes us feel more grounded. We have so many nerve endings in the bottom of our feet and so many meridian points, the points that are used in EFT tapping, so many in the bottom of our feet. There's a kidney meridian point right in the center of the soles of our feet, which is very important. Grounding helps calm anxiety, calm stress and fear. So it's a very good practice, nice thing to do. It definitely helps slow the thoughts down in the mind and help us prepare for good sleep. Or you can also soak your feet in a tub of warm water with some lavender and magnesium salt. You can do both. Massage your feet with oil, then soak them for a few minutes, or you take some steady breaths. That also helps the oil absorb deeper into your skin, and it's easier to towel off without it damaging your bedding. All these things can sound a bit high maintenance or an extra thing to do when we're busy, but the more we can get into the habit of preparing for healthy sleep, the better quality our sleep will be, and the better day we have the next day. I remember one of my meditation teachers years ago responding to a question somebody asked, how do you have a good morning's meditation where you're peaceful, but your mind is also alert, you're not falling asleep, you're in a good state to meditate? And he said, that starts the night before. So, better everything the next day when we know that. That's why we get worried when we're not sleeping. If we have to work the next day, we know that that's going to be a difficult day if we haven't slept. So to get in the habit of preparing and valuing our sleep and taking the steps to make it good sleep is a good investment.
Let's dive into Ayurveda and the tips that we learn from Ayurveda for getting a good night's sleep.
So we already touched upon making sure that you feel warm and grounded, and to bring a little weight to your bedding if you feel that that's going to be helpful for you, something to experiment with. Those are all Ayurvedic tips. Another thing that's really important that's taught by Ayurveda is to pay attention to the time you go to sleep. Around 10 p.m. is the best time for going to sleep if we can be in bed by that time as much as possible. There are different timings during the day that are conducive to different activities. And around 10 p.m. at night, there's this energy, nicknamed the kapha wave. It's a good time for sleep. There's an energy that comes around that helps us get to sleep. If we stay up beyond that time, we move into a much more active mental timing, which is the pitta dosha, pitta time, which can be a very activated mind that can be fretting about work. We might have a burst of inspiration. We might feel like we want to jump on our laptop and sort something out. We start to get mentally active. We can get stressed. We can get hungry again and feel that we need to eat again. So to try and be asleep before that energy kicks in is really helpful. And another thing that really helps is to take some warm almond milk with a pinch of nutmeg before bed. That's an old Ayurvedic recipe. Almond milk is very good for the nervous system. It helps you get to sleep. And nutmeg is a natural sedative that helps you stay asleep. And we've had lots of messages over the years from listeners that have tried that and are doing really well with it.
Stress releasing movement is also a key to helping your body relax and helping you get a good night's sleep. You hear people talk all the time about the benefits of an evening walk after dinner and the benefits of simple stretching and yoga postures before bed. This isn't a full yoga practice. This is just a handful of practices just to help you be sweet with your body, whether that be putting your legs up the wall, whether that be child's pose, whether that be a little bit of light qigong. It really is a gift.
Child's pose is such a gentle, simple thing to do for calming anxiety. There's a teaching that when we feel really stressed and really anxious, we have a reflex in us to put our hands over our head or even to want to just curl up. And child's pose is the voluntary way of doing that before it gets that bad. It's just go to the ground, tuck your knees in, tuck your head down on the floor, and let your back stretch out and just be very peaceful and still. And it's so good for the nervous system, so easy to do. And walking to help us digest what we've eaten in the evening, so our digestive system has done the majority of its work before we turn in. Our digestion can wake us up in the night if it's busy. Really easy things to bring in.
And I understand that you might not be interested in taking a walk after dinner in the winter months, but there are other options that you can choose if you don't want to go outside. Maybe you have a treadmill that you can walk on for even 10 minutes, or maybe you have a stationary bicycle or one of those small trampolines, just something to get yourself moving. And then, of course, our episode would not be complete if we didn't talk about essential oils that are helpful for anxiety and some of our favorite essential oils. Vetiver is, I believe that's your favorite, isn't it, Ananga?
Yeah, one of them, one of the tops, certainly for this time of year and for sleep.
Vetiver is a tall aromatic grass, and the essential oil is extracted from the roots of that grass. It has a sweet, woody, earthy fragrance, which can help grounding and calming anxiety. And Ayurveda teaches that most roots are good for calming anxiety and helping us feel grounded and steady in our body. And if you think about it, that really makes sense, doesn't it? Rootedness.
Completely makes sense, yeah.
Also, lavender. We can't talk about lavender enough. Lavender builds trust. Lavender smells so good. Having a lavender plant in the winter inside is a wonderful idea. Rose geranium is another favorite of mine. I'd bring geraniums in the house in the winter and we'll walk by and just give a little touch to the leaves and be able to just smell that gorgeous geranium scent on my hands after. Lemon balm, so good. Lemon balm, both the oil as well as the tincture. That's another tincture that I like to make for calming anxiety.
Yeah, you can get tea as well. Lemon balm tea. Sometimes it's sold as Melissa tea, same thing.
Mm. Yeah, I grow it in my garden, so I just dry out the leaves and make lemon balm tea from that. And so those are just so calming. And there's a blend that I really like too that has a combination of lavender and lang lang and sandalwood. It is a little bit sweet, so it's not for always, but it is a smell that I think is really nice and it's helpful for sleep.
Mm-hmm. Sweet smells are good for vata, good for calming vata.
Mm. After the short break, we're going to share one of our most popular guided relaxations for a good night's sleep. Thanks for listening in, and we hope that you enjoy the guided relaxation. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Sometimes we need guidance or a neutral party to help us sort things out when we're feeling overwhelmed and unsure of ourselves. BetterHelp online therapists are trained to help figure out the cause of challenging emotions and learn productive coping skills. When I partnered with BetterHelp a couple of years ago, I felt fully supported. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched over 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists who are available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist at any time. It couldn't be easier. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/slayer. That's betterhelp.com/slayer. One of the most helpful aids in getting to sleep or getting back to sleep is listening to guided relaxations. We invite you to settle in, get comfortable, and enjoy this guided relaxation for a good night's sleep. Make yourself comfortable, either sitting or lying down. Take a deep breath in and feel your chest and stomach expand. Breathe out slowly through your mouth. Now take another breath in, and as you breathe out, let your jaw relax completely. Let your shoulders relax. And open and expand your chest to fully receive each incoming breath. Continue breathing in deeply through your nose and exhaling through your mouth for the next few minutes as I guide you through this relaxation. Close your eyes and let yourself sink down into your resting place. Let everything else wait for just a few minutes as you spend this time taking care of yourself, relaxing yourself, drifting away from external thoughts and sounds, drifting away from obligations, retreating inside yourself to a place of still and calm and quiet. Allow your thoughts and worries to drift past your awareness like many colored leaves floating on a stream. You can watch them bob and drift as they pass you by, watching, detached and still. You feel at peace as you see your thoughts float by without affecting your emotions. You watch and breathe, detached and calm, becoming more and more relaxed with every breath. You watch and feel calm. You witness and breathe slowly and deeply. Breathe deeply and relax deeply, allowing any tension in your body to soften and melt away now. Allowing yourself to let go and deeply relax now. Feel the relief. Feel the release of stress and tension from your grateful body as it sinks yet deeper into the place where you rest. And so your mind finds restful quiet, healing quiet. Rest and breathe for just a few more moments. with every breath becoming more and more relaxed, more and more at ease. Carefree, drifting and healing. Know that if you show yourself respect and care like this again very soon, you will notice yourself becoming a calmer person. And this is all it takes to remember to step back and disengage from anxious thoughts. Let go and watch, relax, and breathe. And the more you do, the better you will feel.